Hello, everyone. We are live. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending from where you're connecting from. I'm excited to have you on this show today, Money Matters Live, where we'll bring great leaders who have been through diverse situations, who have done businesses in different, globe to tell us how they've weathered the storm and how they grew their business from nothing to become, to something very great enterprise, a corporation. And today in Money Matters, we talk about financial literacy, financial discipline, financial planning, where we'll learn about how to put money together, savings, what investment vehicles to put the money into, life insurance, health insurance, businesses we can do in the 21st century, how and beyond just knowing the business we want to do in the 21st century, how do we get our business to people who need our services, marketing, sales, everything to do with financial literacy. And today we have a great guest who will be sharing his story, how he built from nothing to abundance. So when we come together, we'll come to, glean from others, learn from others so that we can do better in our business, learn the ropes, and see how they improved on their business so that we do not need to reinvent the wheel. And before we go into the show today, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Sandra Ukoh. I'm a Maxwell Leadership Certified Team Member, speaker coach, and trainer. I'm also a member of the Toastmaster, a sales expert of over 20 years. I've been in the sales industry and also a best-selling author. And I'm the founder of Money Matters, but I just believe that we can help ourselves by rubbing off on each other, by learning from others who have been there before us. So in order for us to be wealthy, we need to be intentional, we need to be strategic, and we need to be consistent with whatever processes we want to follow in order for us to get there. Wealth takes time. So you have to start building now. It's not too late. A lot of people say, oh, I wish I started 5 years ago. It's not too late. It is said that the best time to have ever planted a tree was 20 years ago, but the next best time is now. So it's not too late. Take those little steps, those baby steps, leading you to your bigger picture. Thank you. And before I bring him on board, let me just shoot one of the commercials. So we are back. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome our viewers and also welcoming our guests. So I want to bring in our guest, but I want to read his bio so you get to know our guest. Milton Duerod is an accomplished real estate broker, real estate investor, and a videographer. His background includes working as a computer programmer, an account manager in technical sales, and technical solutions consultant for Fortune 100 companies that span over 3 decades. Milton has been an entrepreneur for in the last 20 years. Since being introduced to the renewable energy industry, it inspired him to common homeowners take advantage and be aware of what is going on in the US. Through his company, Answer Solar LLC, he teaches homeowners how to convert their homes from using just electric utility company and their ever-increasing rates to using solar panels to reduce their electric energy. He shows them how this simple conversion can end up saving thousands and thousands of dollars through the years. Lastly, he shows homeowners on how to get the conversion done with zero money down by getting the government to chip in financially. His goal is personally to help 500 households generate their own electricity by June 2024. These efforts will go a long way to saving the planet for our future generations. Awesome. He's married and he has children. He didn't speak about that aspect, but he's a family person, a loving husband too. So I bring him on board. The next person you get to see is Milton Duerod himself. Hello, sir. So great to have you this evening.
Hello, it's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Sorry, I had to add that other one that you're a family person too.
I'm a family person too, yes. Yes, I have three kids and a wonderful wife. Yes.
Oh, great, 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 great. So it's so great to have you today, and we actually thought of how you built your business. We like to share. We like you to share with us so that we can learn from you how you built your business from nothing to abundance. What are the ropes you went through? What are the difficult moments? How was it when things started moving? What did you do extra to make sure the money you made, you were able to invest it? You were able to expand the business. So we're all ears and the table and everything's all over to you. You're on the hot seat while we listen to you.
Well, thank you very much. And I appreciate you having me again, and I appreciate the introduction. Uh, I think that I can tell you how I built my business or businesses from the ground up. And I can tell you probably by telling you my story first.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
don't have the typical story of the rags to riches or the great comeback story. Things that movies are made of, right?
You know?
I didn't have big drug abuse. I wasn't an alcoholic, and I didn't have to overcome beatings or any kind of mental or any
Good.
kind of abuse. My story is I grew up in Metro Detroit. Well, actually, I grew up in Detroit in a middle class area, middle class family. I was raised by my mom only. She was divorced. My father left when I was 2. I never met him, but
Wow.
she raised me by herself and had her own morals and values. She was a school teacher, so I had to do well in school because because I lived with a teacher. But I had a happy childhood, and I didn't see anything going wrong, or my situation is much different than I guess a lot of people growing up. I had a very happy childhood, but in saying that, it might have been worse than someone that was going through something. And I say that because I was comfortable, and mediocrity set in. Right?
Mm,
Henry Ford says that mediocrity is the worst enemy to prosperity.
true.
So I didn't realize it, and later on, it caused me to feel like I was behind once I start self-evaluating and self-assessing, and so it just it caused me to hurry up things and hurry up the learning and get on with my life. Well, back then, my first love was music. Right, I wasn't into girls, not then. Later on, yeah, but my
True.
first love was music. My mom showed me how to play the piano. My whole family was musical.
Wow.
She also had perfect pitch. So she, even though I would probably sing off key sometimes, she wouldn't chide me for it. She just kind of correct me, and I ended up playing a lot of different instruments all through school, and that taught me creative, to be creative, and to be diligent and to learn my craft, and to learn my instrument. And I was having fun because she made it fun for me, so that formed my creative side. And as I went through school, I played instruments all through school, and I was in music at the high school, and my intention was to go to college to become a music major. Well, I did. I went to college, and because I learned that you're supposed to go to school, get good grades, go to college, get a job, and then retire from that job, right? So that's what I did in college. I'm saying, okay, I'm going to get through college, go get a job like everyone else, and I thought I was going to major in music. Well, I took my first semester, and my mom said, you're really good at music, but you might want to get something else under your belt. And yeah, begrudgingly, I said, maybe she's right. So I changed my major, and I ended up changing my major and graduating in computer science. Now, there's a correlation between music and someone in the computer field.
Yeah.
So I found it very soothing, very easy. I could be creative in computers, and I had a lot of fun with programming. So I got a job right after school as I graduated. I started with the city of Detroit, if anyone knows where that is, and
Yeah.
I started as a computer programmer. Well, that was that was great for me, right? I was doing what I loved, and the company was okay, the city was okay, but it had municipal workers, and if any city that has municipal workers or government workers, they don't tend to work that hard, right?
Yeah.
So when you work hard, they say, hey, slow down, don't work so hard. But that was I learned good work ethic, and I wanted to apply that and wanted to get better and wanted to get promoted. So I found out that, maybe that wasn't so great, but I can learn as much as I can learn from it. So I started doing some self-assessing, and I found out that, hey, maybe I should better myself for something bigger. So I ended up going back to school to get my master's degree in business. And then I also put myself in Toastmasters. You mentioned Toastmasters earlier. I put
Mhm.
myself in Toastmasters because I realized that I wanted to communicate better. I wanted to be a better communicator even early in life. Now I was good in computers, but I like to socialize. I didn't have that stigma of the coder in the corner like most computer people. I wasn't a computer nerd. I like to socialize, but I wanted to be better at it and wanted to be on a higher level of communication. So I did take Toastmasters, came through that, got my master's degree, and life was good. So I didn't know what I was doing. I was setting up for something bigger. And that bigger ended up being, well, my dream job at the time was to work for IBM, International Business Machines, right? And probably the driving force of that was probably one of my instructors that gave an impression that I would never have a prestigious job like that. I wasn't that kind of student, whatever that meant. I said, okay, I'll show you. I guess I had that in my mind. And when I got an interview with IBM, I nailed it. And they hired me right there on the spot. I started working for IBM. I was the happiest moment in my life, right? My dream job, and doing what I love and computers, and I was a computer. Well, I was on the road doing solutions for IBM at different
Yeah.
locations, and that was great for a while. And then I got this manager talked me into this other role for technical sales. I'm like, I can't sell anything. I don't know what that means. She said, no, you'll just be a
You're not
liaison.
selling. You're just taking care of the technical aspect of sales.
Well, yeah, right, and that was after. It was like after sales, aftermarket sales,
Yeah.
and I ended up being a liaison between IBM and General Motors. And I said,
Wow.
okay, well, I can do that. So I was ahead of that little area, and that worked great until it was time for layoffs. So because I was in sales at that point, I was fresh meat for layoffs, and I only had that one big customer. And so I got laid off from IBM, and I got a job the next week because IT, you can get a job the next day
That's what
pretty much.
happens with, I think, anything that has to do with sales, it's very volatile. That times I've been laid off, because businesses were not coming in. The organization needs to cut down on expense.
Yeah.
So they would just look for the low hanging fruits and ask you to go.
And not only that, they wanted to get rid of the retirees basically, and
Yeah.
and not even wait for attrition. They just want to get rid of them quickly so they can bring in someone else and pay them less. And that
Yeah.
was the story then, because I was a veteran employee. I wasn't a veteran in my years in IBM, but I was very experienced at the time, and so my salary was kind of large, so I was easy pickings. So I
Yeah.
got another job. I went to, actually, matter of fact, I went to Daimler Chrysler at the time. It was called Daimler Chrysler, and I was working at headquarters. I was doing computer work. So I was like a specialty computer person at that point. So everyone was coming to me with their projects and everything. And unfortunately, it wasn't a direct hire. I had to take a contracting job because I wanted a job right away. So the contracting job was available, and I said, okay, why not? In the meantime, I started investing in real estate, just trying my hand at something else because I said, it's more to life than just working for somebody. I want something for myself, and this real estate thing, it seems to be pretty cool. So I started trying it, started buying properties and renting them out. Took my lumps until I learned the process, and then along the lines, a friend of mine said, hey, would you like to take this real estate course with me? I'm like, well, yeah, okay, yeah, I can learn more about real estate. I can buy houses and then get apartment buildings and then turn that into assisted living centers. That was my dream then, right? And so I said, yeah, sign me up. So she signed me up. It turned out to be a pre-licensing course, for a real estate agent. I'm like, I don't sell anything. I don't want to do this. I'm like, you know what? You sign me up. I'm gonna go through the course and see what happens. Maybe I can glean some information on how to help myself personally. Well, I passed the course. My friend didn't pass the course. I got my
Wow.
real estate license. My friend still didn't pass the course to get to the license. I'm like, you talked me into this course, right? And I
Mhm.
have a license and I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm still a programmer at the time. So I have this real estate license I don't know what to do with. Then I found out you have to put it under a real estate broker. So I found a real estate broker in my area, and this particular real estate broker taught you how to be an investor with a real estate license. I'm like, oh, that's a perfect match. I want to grow my investing more. I want to learn more about real estate, and I can use my license to either gain access or make some sales. Well, I did that for a while, and then my job, my computer job, they decided they wanted to lay me off. They said, "Okay, there's no more new development, so we're going to let you go." So I wrote a 9-page proposal on how valuable I was to the company and how much I was saving the company. And I know I'm just buying time. And the boss accepted it. So I stayed there a little bit while longer. Meanwhile, I'm getting my computers, my real estate skills
My God,
tighter.
that's very smart.
Yeah, well, I mean, I didn't have anything to lose, right? So eventually, like Christmas of 2003, Chrysler let me go. And then my mom became gravely ill. So I'm an only child. So I had to figure out, how to take care of her and what to do. And they rushed her to the hospital. So I needed to find something very flexible. I need to make some money, but need to find something flexible. So I changed the real estate brokerage I was at, into like a mainstream brokerage, and started learning those sales skills. Meanwhile, I have flexibility because as a real estate agent, you got flexibility to try to take care of her and do the
Yeah.
things I need to do for
And be
her.
present with her.
Yeah. And then eventually she passed away. So that became, unfortunately, my first listing. I didn't know what I was doing, but I figured it out. And then after I sold the property, my wife then decided, oh, well, let's talk about a divorce. I'm like, what? Yeah. So I had, laid off on a job. Then I had my mom passed away. Then I had a divorce, the divorce approaching, all within that 6-7 month period.
Oh my God. So
Yeah,
sorry.
so I didn't really have a chance to grieve. I'm trying to figure out how to handle this divorce, and so I just really poured myself into learning this new skill, this little new real estate skill, and eventually it worked out for me because I learned it so well that I became a go-to person in the office. And I was taking listings and properties that no one else wanted, and I was making some good money with it. And then I said, okay, well, this is great. I'm learning the craft, but I want to do this on my own. So eventually, I became a real estate broker myself and formed my own company. And time went on, and eventually, I had about 20 agents working for me. So on the real estate side, I was really finding my own way, and with the own company, making my own money. But after a while, when you're overseeing people and you're only earning just so much, right? And you're working, it's like it felt like a job. I don't have any, real estate doesn't have any retirement plan or no 401k or anything like that.
No.
So you have to make your own. You have to. Most real estate agents who are savvy, they'll buy properties and just keep buying more properties so they can rent them out or sell them or whatever. I did that for a while, and then I say, you know what? I'll find something else. I can find something else to get into where it can be more lucrative, and it can make money while I'm sleeping, right? Residual income. So that's how I ran into this renewable energy company. And this is my own company here, the real estate company, the background you see, that's my company.
Yeah.
And I learned the skills of how to sell solar, but more importantly, it helps people, right? It really helps people save money. And we can sell in 30 states. We sell virtually. We sell using Zoom. We sell in 30 states. And it's very profitable. The profits are like, or the commissions are like real estate commissions. But except you're not driving people around the 30, 40 houses for a house they might like or might not even qualify for. You're just on Zoom, every day or every time you have a presentation. And then on the plus side, the customers are really saving money. We save them sometimes we save them tens of thousands of dollars over the years, because if you know anything about electricity rates, they rise. Now they might you might have electricity bill that they may have risen 3-4 times that year because the electricity is getting crazy. Now they're investing in solar themselves. They have these big solar fields and solar farms. You might be passing on the highway and see all these solar panels. Well, that might be owned by an energy company, but they're not passing the savings on to the customer. They're saving their butts, right? And they're still jacking up the rates for everyone else. So we found a way to help the customer to produce their own energy and save and have one fixed payment instead of rising payment. So that's how we're able to save customers so much money. And it's like I said, it's a very lucrative business, but it feels good in helping people. So it has that intrinsic value, has that altruistic value, and it sort of sums it up for me. I can use my creative skills, I can use my diligence, I can use my perseverance, I can use my business skills, all the things that I developed, all the things that I went through my life. I can actually use those skills now to try to help people. And so that's where I am today. So I don't know if it's abundance, but I'm in abundance of blessings and family and everything. It's not just money.
Yeah, money is not all that is wealth.
But when you hear abundance, sometimes most people think money. I think blessings, right? I think
Yeah, even beyond
I look back
money,
and I'm grateful.
I think relationship. Because if you look at the currency of money and relationship, if I have the right relationship, I can eat the kind of money I want to eat. Just like you're talking about, reaching out to be able to sell. If I have the right relationship, I can sell one, two, three houses, solar panel, I can make millions. But if I
Yeah,
have money and I don't have any relationship, I'll be I'll be lonely. And with money doesn't solve every other thing. You can buy friends.
yeah, yeah.
So
So
there
true.
is beyond wealth is not all to do with money. Yes, we need money because money is a legal tender in exchange for service in whatever you want to buy. But beyond money, money cannot buy you health. Money cannot buy you support from friends when you're down. Money cannot give you network of friends. You want to go into a business, you want people who will be there for you, to support you, to advise you, to be like mentors. Money can't buy them.
Right. And the things that I'm doing, especially service, is relationship building, right?
You see.
You have to like people, and you have to use the money to really build the business to be of service to people, right? And so I mean it's just a perfect marriage for me.
Like you what you rightly said, money begats money. The money you have, you can use to build good relationship. You can reach out to your customer to recognize them during their birthdays, their wedding anniversary, showing just beyond you are not just a transactional businessman. You look beyond just doing a transaction, but ensuring satisfaction. Because sometimes people sell and don't care what the customers feel thereafter. But when you go beyond just providing services, ensuring that they have, um, you know, a satisfaction for whatever services you provided, they will always do a repeat buy. They will
Yeah,
always be
that's
your
true.
mouthpiece. They will always refer people to you. So rather than you having just a transactional relationship, sell to them, move to the next customer. Good. But that customer is not happy. He can bring others to you. But you can be on one and you're giving him the services he or she wants. She's telling everybody that comes their way, oh, I have a great guy who does this, who does that. And before you know it, he or she has referred maybe 30, 40 friends, maybe from church, from tennis, from sports, from the gym. He has referred a lot of people to you. So beyond just being transactional, when you do business, you need to keep that relationship on and active so that the customer himself can do a repeat buy and also be a mouthpiece for you to tell the world what to do.
That's true. That's true. And you hit it right on the head because what we do is really high referral business, right? And in order to get that, you have to treat the customer right in the first place. I
Customer is
mean, you treat
king.
them like family because sometimes they are your family, right? Because
They're
if
the
you're
reason why you're in business.
right.
How do you pay your bills?
Well, and the thing is, sometimes I come across people because I do hire people, right? So we're hiring, and sometimes I'm doing interviews, and they're saying, "Oh, I don't want to sell to my family, or I want to sell to my friends." I'm like, "Okay, well, let me ask you this: if you had $100 and you wanted to share it with them, don't you think they will want to take it? Don't you think they want to save tens of thousands of dollars on their?
Sure.
It's not like you selling them lotions or potions or pills or anything else or promises. You're selling them something that actually works and something that the government is behind. Every homeowner gets the 30% tax credit when they're buying solar for their residential home. We
Really?
also do commercials. So yeah,
Oh my
it's
God,
a
that's a
big
great
deal.
one.
I'm sorry.
I said that's a great one for people to know.
Right, right. So it's almost like the government paying almost like a third of your bill. I mean, it's crazy.
Wow. Wow.
So
That's
not only do we, help the customer, but we're also big in education, because not every customer or not every person knows the things that are behind solar energy these days, in a good company. We've had some bad companies that gave solar a bad name, that went out of business, went bankrupt. So we're trying to fight that image as well, and also save money and get the word out that the common homeowner can own solar. You don't have to be a millionaire. You don't have to be rich. You don't have to be overabundant, right, to have solar, because the government is helping with the payment, and technology has advanced so much that the price of the solar and all the services related to it have come down. So you're fighting these big monopolies, which are the utility companies. They're trying to hold on to their monopolies, and we're coming in with solar. They're not liking that at all. Yeah, and so it's a battle right now, but we're winning because the government's behind this, and the government wants 40% of the households to be in solar by 2034. That's a pretty bold statement, and that's pretty aggressive, because only about 2 to 3% of the households in the United States are on solar now.
wow. That's a great one. But I think a lot of education has to go in this because I don't think people do know what benefits, what they stand to gain. But if they do know, a lot of more people will want to save money. Who doesn't want to save money? Who
Right,
doesn't want to make an
right.
extra buck? So everyone should have it. So a little more education, a little more enlightenment, you know, maybe advertisements to get people to knowing that. And I'm sure your competitor probably will not want that.
Oh,
So maybe one to one or mouth to mouth, or your circle of friends try to, just the way you go out for meetings, you try to circulate information about what services you render and how it's going to help them to save some money.
that's true. That's true. And that's exactly our approach. It seems a little slower than just putting out a mass message to everyone. But aren't we tired of that though? Aren't we tired of the robocalls and the mass messaging I mean, I must get about 10 to 20 calls a day, people trying to sell me something. And most time it's a computer calling me, and you hear that boop. It means that means you answer in a human sense. You answer, so they pick up their line, right? I mean, it's such a turnoff. It's such a bad thing. So we get a bad rap, it's trying to get the information to people. So if we can get past that, and let them know that, hey, this is education that you might want to know about. We're not trying to force feed you anything. Then I think it'd be better. But yeah, those robocalls. Oh my gosh.
They put your, but what about advertisements, commercials on the TV, radio commercials?
They can be effective. However, you have to get the right station, because a lot of stations are just into making profit, where some of them will help you with your business. So you can put an ad out there. You might get the wrong time of day or wrong time of night, and because you're not paying the big bucks, and you might get one or two hits off of thousands of dollars. So you do what makes the most sense. We start off in our warm market, the people we know, or the people that are in our family, or the people we sell through our family. We don't necessarily sell to, but sell through. Like, who do you know that might be interested in saving money? And then we can offer them a cash incentive or
Oh,
or
that's
a
what I wanted to
referral.
say. That's a good one.
Yeah. So that's the approach that we have, to try to overcome the big costs of trying to advertise big.
Yes, but beyond that, maybe people who have TV shows, that you have close relationship with them. You could support one or two of them. And sometimes when people are speaking, they talk about the sponsors. So maybe an event, a conference, your company sponsor, maybe get a booth or sponsor an event or support. When they're done with their conference or whatever, they speak about their sponsors. These are the following people or the following companies that have sponsored this event. So they get to give you maybe an audience to speak. Maybe that's another way to reach a larger audience.
That's true. That's true. And we do some events like that. In fact, this past weekend, last weekend, we were in North Carolina. My wife and I were in North Carolina. I wasn't working during that time, but I told them that I'll be sponsoring their event probably next year. It was a jazz festival of this artist that we know pretty well, Marcus Anderson. Hey, Marcus, if you're out there. And it was a great show. He had great guests. He had great musicians that are playing. So we're looking to be one of his either his sponsors or promoters next year, and just take on things like that in order to get the word out to people that just common people who just have no idea that they can have solar on their homes no matter where they live.
And that's true. And for maybe TV shows, if you have friends who do run some kind of shows like the Steve Harvey or some other shows that have bigger audience, you could also, in a way, show some kind of support. Maybe be their followers, be present once in a while. And, when they have their commercial break, they can show one or two things, how people, testimonials from people, how solar has helped them to save a lot of money. You have people come talk about it, why you need to get solar. That is another means of reaching a larger audience. Writing on people's platform.
Right. Yes. Okay.
So we might talk that maybe after the show, we can sit back and
Hey, I
go on
love that. I love that.
the
Okay.
discussion. But I want to find out from you, when you started business, were there difficult moments when business were not rolling in and you had bills to pay? How did you weather the storms? Did you get loans from the bank? Did you get people to support you to ensure that you're able to meet up with bills and everything?
All
So,
the above. All the above. I didn't lean so much on people. I did get loans whenever it was appropriate, but I always dread paying it back. I'm like, oh, I don't want to pay this back. So what I did was,
it
in
is
some
good to have
cases,
money. It's good to borrow
well,
money,
yeah,
but to pay back, it's a lot
what I
more.
did was I just used one of my skills to raise money to feed it into this other entity. For instance, you read that I was a videographer. I do that. I do a lot of that, and I raise extra money doing that. I don't really do anything with it except for invest it in my other businesses to help either pay the bills or put some food on the table when it's not, when it has that drought period. And that's the thing about real estate. You have these ups and downs, right? So I needed something a little bit more stable, even though I've been doing it for years. I just needed something that I can control, right? And then that will have some residual income, and I can start overriding my team, but still helping the customer at the same time. So that's why I thought this opportunity was good.
But I thought real estate could also give you passive incomes when you rent it out to people.
Yeah, yeah, I do have some rental income. I mean, yeah, rental income. I do have property, and yeah, and I was also hit with a water bill, a water tank purchase last month too. So you're going to take your lumps there too. I mean, everything is going to have some ups and downs. You're going to have some highs and lows, but yeah, overall, it's been very, very good to me. Real estate investing, and I bought some, sold some. I still have some now, and that's weathered the storm for me in more than one occasion, just to have that steady income. And luckily, I have good tenants. I mean, yeah, they may not pay on the first, exactly every time, but they eventually they're very good. We have a very, very good relationship. So it's about communication. So if your communication is good, then your situation would be good, and that's true in everything.
True. That's a great one. But did you with the money you got, money you made, did you diversify? Did you go into other things just to ensure, maybe put money in bond markets, cryptocurrency? Did you put money into making money from stocks, other things aside from real estate and the renewable energy?
Sure. I have some investments as well. I have stocks. I used to have bonds, but I have stocks, and I have a number of portfolios that I'm working with. So yeah, all my eggs aren't just in one basket.
Yeah,
So
you don't
yeah.
have to put them together. So when things were good for you, how did you celebrate? Because sometimes, we talk about the bad aspect when business goes down, but we don't talk about the aspect when things boom, when things, are doing well and things are improving, things are great. So
I think that it depends on who's in your life at the time, right? I happen to be married to a great woman who loves to travel, right? So I have to, it's better to please her and do some of that traveling with her and strike a balance, right? Because
yeah,
we're all living our lives. Our lives are just so short that you have to have some balance, and you have to appreciate the other person and give your time to the other person because they invested in you by marrying you or being in a relationship with you. So you have to strike that balance. Yeah, I can grind all day, but when it's time to play, I play hard, and that's just all to it. We just came back from, not just, but we were in on a cruise in, I think it was in May of this year, where it started off in Spain, and then we went to Morocco, and then we went to Lisbon. So I mean, we spent a lot of time, like 10 days together, this European cruise, and we had a great time. It was a jazz cruise, so we had a great time. So yeah, we can play.
yeah, that's a great one. Great to know that. And one of the reason why it was said with, beyond just doing business, there's also time to relax. There's also time for you to do business, you have to be in health. And I oftentimes tell people health is wealth. So you don't want to spend all your time making money and not spend all the money you've saved to take care of the health. So health is wealth to me. Once the health is in the right perspective, you're okay, you can make more money. But when you strain yourself or stretch yourself beyond limits, you tend to use the wealth that you've gathered over the years to take care of that health. So there must be a balance, like you rightly said. Time to relax, time to do business, like
Hmm.
you rightly said. So I want to thank you for your time, sharing your story with us, how you started So I want to also thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry, I wanted to be sure because the call came in. So the only way was to just stop the call. So that was why it
Okay.
went off. Well, that's why I went off the screen.
Okay.
Stop the call. So I want to thank our viewers for being on this show where we're discussing on how our guests, went from, nothing to building abundance, abundance that has to do with money, people, support from others, and how he expanded his business. And I also want to thank you, our guest, for being on this show. Thank you for sharing your story with us. And I think there's more to talk after this show. I have to reach out to you. So thank you so much. And if this been a blessing to you, please kindly like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can often get more updates from us. And also share. It is said that a leader is the one who knows it and share it with others. And people don't care how much you are, how much you know. People care when they know that you care for them too. So you can show some care by sharing this video so that others can learn, others can glean from our guests. Thank you so much and have a blessed evening. Bye,
Thanks for having me.
everyone. Bye.